Before I get to the topic at hand, I want to speak about why I'm qualified to cover how to teach yourself how to program. First of all, I've had nearly 18 years of professional experience in the software industry. I've had positions that include programmer, senior software engineer, and technical director. My titles include Golden Tee Golf, Delta Force Black Hawk Down, Cabela's Deer Hunter, several others, and most recently, King's Quest, in which I was technical director. And I'm proud to say that King's Quest peaked as the #1 hottest game on GameStop. That's correct. The #1 hottest game on GameStop. And also, I'm proud to say that in 2017, the year I'm speaking to you now, we received for 2016 a nomination for Adventure Game of the Year from the DICE Summit. And if you're not familiar with DICE Summit, go ahead and search for them. It's what is the address? It is dicesummit.org, and you'll find out more about that institution. It's a very reputable institution. So during my professional career, I've picked up a lot of information from a lot of great programmers. Obviously, people that are doing these type of quality of games know a lot of stuff about software. So, and also before my professional career, I also had several years of experience in college in which I programmed an entire game in assembly. And also I began programming at the age of 8. So I started doing my own applications at that young age and doing stuff that was actually useful, and also fiddling with games at the time. Although, of course, they were primitive, I was programming on a machine that had 64K of RAM. 64K, that's correct. So I've been around for a long time. I've seen software evolve. So it's basically almost 30 years of experience, both professional and amateur. So I've seen the field evolve from its infancy to where it is today. So next, one other thing before I get to the topic at hand, I want to define the term programming, because a lot of people are using the term programming very loosely. I think there is a huge difference between API programming, and I'm talking about really a software engineer in general. So API programmers, you could learn, if you want to learn to code in 10 hours, you can learn something, but you're not gonna be a complete programmer. So API programmers generally call functions that other people wrote. So you're basically piecing together stuff that other people wrote. So it is technically a form of programming. But the type of programming that I'm talking about is somebody that understands the entire process of creating software, and somebody that really does have the skills that could create all of the software you see today, although it would be physically impossible, obviously, for any one person to do that because of time. You would die before you could ever come close to what everybody has done. But at least having an understanding of how it could be done. And I also want to talk about, well, how to teach yourself how to program. You want to do it in 3 months and all these kind of get smart, quick, get rich quick schemes. Well, if that were the case, if you could really thoroughly learn stuff, there would not be $50 million budgets for games, $100 million budgets for video games. And of course, in the budget of video games, the most expensive profession is the programmer, is the software engineer, is really actually the technical director, is probably one of the highest paid people on the projects. And also, people would not be offering 6-figure salaries if you could just teach yourself how to program in 3 months, because then it would be completely devalued. And the salaries are going just really up and up, and they're always increasing. So I think it's very important to make that distinction. Somebody that knows at a low level, somebody that could create algorithms, somebody that understands the complete inner workings of the machine. Somebody that understands efficiency, somebody that knows what they're doing. It's perhaps you could be an API programmer and you do a bunch of stuff and it works, but potentially it's very sloppy because that person maybe didn't understand computational complexity or whatever. So I just wanted to make that distinction as well. So now the topic at hand, how to teach yourself how to program. Well, the first thing I would say is just go in and do it. Ideally, you've got something that you want to do, go ahead and do it. I'll leave the links in this video, and you can go just download Visual Studio and start doing something. Create a project and kind of just play with it and see what you can do. Just be like, oh, hey, this does that. Oh, really cool. This does that. Really cool. And if you're kind of once you get a little bit more experience, start defining goals. What do I want to create? What type of software do I want to create? What kind of game do I want to make? What else do I want to do? So really, actually, on a side note as well, I just want to speak about how game programmers are I think some of the very fastest and best programmers out there. Game programmers are always under the gun. There's always very, very tight deadlines. So there's always a lot of pressure to get stuff done very quickly. And to do stuff very quick, clean, and organized is the ultimate programmer. Somebody that can do something that is maintainable, scalable, and they do it just extremely quickly. That is the ultimate programmer. And I personally believe it's mostly game programmers. Not to say that there's obviously great programmers in other industries as well. But game programmers are definitely under a lot of pressure. So obviously your skills very much improve because of that. So really, just to learn or understand anything, ultimately you're teaching yourself. You can have teachers, professors, mentors, what have you, but ultimately you need to do the work and you're going to understand it yourself. I think the advantage to having a teacher, or for me, I like to think of myself as really an aggregator of knowledge, an aggregator and a creator. So I've created stuff that has not really been solved before. So that I think is one aspect. And then also I've learned a lot of stuff from a lot of different people. So obviously there's the greats, there's Turing and von Neumann. And we're all standing on the shoulders of giants. So that being said, I think I just want to make the point that I think it's helpful to do both. It's helpful to do things on your own, and it's also helpful to have somebody along the lines with you, somebody that you can ask questions, somebody that you can bounce ideas off of, and also somebody that can just motivate you. I think one of the things when you're learning software or learning how to program, a lot of times people will sit down and if you know nothing, you don't know where to begin. It's like, this is so much information to take in. And it can be nice to have somebody there with you to be like, hey, let's just do this simple concept. Let's just start with that. And then you can sort of get into the groove. And the more of that you have, really, the more it just explodes exponentially. So having somebody with you, I think, is very beneficial as long as you have the right people. I think back to my college days, I had several really, really brilliant professors, and it really helped. And I think I would not have gotten to the point where I've gotten without them. They get you there quicker. I think on my own, especially with the internet now, ultimately, you could find the knowledge that they have, but I think there still is something to interacting with a human being. So, all that being said, just pick a spot, figure out where you want to be, where you want to go. If you don't know, just do something. That's one step to getting you to where you need to go. If you need to just search around on the internet, see what you find, look around at various YouTube videos. You can look at some of the videos on my channel and actually let me know what you want. Let me know what you're thinking. Maybe I'll do a video on it and I'll cover the stuff, and maybe I'll do sample projects for you to get started. First things first, figure out what you want to do. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. You can go to my site at ciogd.org. I'll leave the link in the description below. And thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And I'll look forward to hearing from you.